Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WWE News and Rumors. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the video. Brandon out here, and welcome back to another juicy episode of WWE News and Rumors. So we have a lot of, juicy news and rumors, like I say in every episode. These are pretty good ones. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into this episode. So the first news story is about very popular WWE superstar at this point, I guess, Mr. Bad Bunny. So Bad Bunny is a Latin rapper or Latin recording artist or whatever kind of terminology they're pushing him as. He's a musician. He performed at the Royal Rumble. They made a commemorative shirt. And I talked about all this in the last news episode, so some of you may be watching this thinking, Brandon, is this a news episode? Is this like a new news episode, or is this a rerun? Like, what are you talking about? You said we'll talk about this in the last news episode. Well, guys, this is indeed a new one. So I reported in the last news episode, but this is a new news episode. I'm getting confused here. But basically, Bad Bunny, I reported, has the highest selling merchandise on all of WWE Shop for all year. Now, granted, it's only February, we're only 2 months into the year, but so far, Bad Bunny is the top selling one. I now have an update on that. So Bad Bunny is not just the highest selling one on WWE Shop, it is now officially completely sold out. Now, I don't know how many they made, and when you say sold out, it's kind of a thing, because they could have made like 10 of them, or they could have made 10,000 of them. It's kind of just kind of a guessing situation, but everything Bad Bunny on WWE Shop is officially sold out. Any size, anything, sold out, like every size. It's very rare for something on WWE Shop to sell out in every single size. But that's happened with the Bad Bunny's shirts and obviously his posters. His posters are just one size fits all, I would assume. But Bad Bunny is officially sold out. All his merchandise is officially sold out on the WWE Shop merchandise website, which is really, really crazy because I haven't really seen a wrestler really do that too often, like sell out in every single possible size. I bet some people are just ordering shirts just to order shirts and they won't even fit them. Okay, the next news story. The next news story is an interesting thing that definitely deserves some discussion. So if you have anything to add to this, definitely leave it down below. So this one has been ongoing for a very long time. Apparently ever since like 2009 this has been going on. But the time I talked about it, it was kind of just really brought up to the public attention and people really started getting on it and being like, what in the hell, how is that even possible? This was back in 2018 when I was talking about it, and everyone on the channel was like, what in the hell, how's that even possible? So once again, here we are 3 years later, and let's go ahead and say once again, what in the hell, how's that even possible? So basically it's about Randy Orton. Let's put up his Randy Orton thing and his tattoos. So Randy Orton's tattoos are really, really cool, right? A lot of wrestlers have tattoos and things like that, but there's an interesting point. Tattoos are works of art, but at the same time, they're on a human's body. But the works of art are done by a tattoo artist, right? They're an artist. Artists deserve to be compensated for their work, which is why you pay them to do a tattoo, and that should be the end of it. But apparently not. So the person who did most of Randy Orton's tattoos, this woman, has basically claimed that the tattoos on Randy Orton's body are works of art owned by her, and they're on TV every week, and she's not getting paid for her artwork being on TV every week. Which is a very interesting point, because, they're on his freaking body. He's a living person. He can't just take them off to be on TV. They're stuck on him forever. So, what's he supposed to do? Like, wrestle in a long sleeve shirt and just, not look like a normal wrestler? And everyone's like, what the hell, why is he wrestling in a shirt? It's because he got tattoos by someone who is, wanting to be paid for them to be on TV. Apparently back in 2009, WWE offered this lady, after she contacted them, WWE offered her $450 for the works of art to be on TV, and that was it. It was like a settlement, and it's like, I get how ridiculous this is, and it was kind of just a nothing offer, but still, if you guys think this is gonna be a big issue, you just offer her $400. What the hell? At least give her a few grand. But basically, this thing is still ongoing about her wanting to be paid for her artwork being on TV. And actually, this thing is going to trial. It's going to a judge or whatever. The judge is going to decide what to do and how to sort the situation. This is a very big thing because this could literally change the world forever. Because if it's an actor with tattoos, I mean, obviously for a movie or something, most of the time they're covered up with makeup. But as for wrestlers and other things being on a television show, just like a normal TV show or sports or whatever, if their tattoos are on screen, it's possible their tattoo artists might need to get a cut of whatever they make. I mean, it's just crazy to think about that. Just pay like a royalty thing, because apparently she has this like design on Randy Orton's body now trademarked. With the United States trademarked and whatever the proper terminology is. I don't know if she trademarked it before she did it. Randy just picked one of the designs from a book or something. It's like, put that on me. But I'm sure like Randy would have never got a tattoo if he would have saw these unforeseen like circumstances. And like for video games and stuff, the tattoos are recreated, so that's a whole nother issue, and it's just a mess. But this thing's going on trial actually this September. But I really hope the judge like realizes this isn't just like an individual suing $1 billion company, just like a simple case like that. It's not like that. His decision will literally like change the world forever. If this goes through and the lady does have to be paid for her work, this judge is really opening a wormhole for like everyone who has tattoos might have to pay their artist even more money if they plan to use their body on television or anything like that. They'll have to pay their artist because their artwork's on TV, as silly as it freaking sounds. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in the next news story, this is going to take up the rest of the news section, then we'll talk about some rumors, but this one is a confirmed news story. So this one is about the WWE Earnings Report. So this is very interesting. Get your glasses on, get your ties on, and let's go ahead and get my, where's my tie? Let me get my tie. Yeah, I just leave mine tied because I'm lazy. I'm not going to retie it. So yeah, we're talking about some earnings, some behind-the-scenes corporate stuff at WWE, so here we go with the earnings report. So the earnings report, I'm just going to summarize it for us normal folks who aren't really too interested in accounting. You would think WWE's earnings are very, very low for this because a lot of businesses have had to go, like, completely out of business. They've had to like shut down. WWE, they basically didn't have any fans for the entire year of 2020 and all of that. They had to release a lot of wrestlers just to keep up with everything. And they actually came out really, 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 really good. So the entire year of 2020, WWE actually did extremely well. They made $974 million, which is actually 1% more than the year previous, before the pandemic. So WWE has actually made more money during this pandemic than they made before the pandemic. Now that is just crazy to think about. A lot of that has to do with they've fired so many people. They have fired so many people in the behind the scenes corporate office, even wrestlers and stuff like that. They've fired so many people. Their operating costs actually make the shows are much lower because they don't have to tour around the country. They don't have to hire as many people to set up the ring, and they don't have to hire anyone to set up the ring because the ring just stays there. But there is like a point where things start to turn here. So they release like their earnings statement every quarter, which is every 3 months of every year. So every 3 months they release an earnings statement. So the last 3 months of 2020, WWE actually did quite poorly. They were down 26%. To the previous quarter, which basically just means they lost, they didn't lose money, they just made 26% less money. And Vince McMahon, when he was asked about this, he basically said, this is because there's no fans. There's no fans, so we can't sell tickets, so we didn't make as much money, is basically his excuse. A more interesting point is to see how WWE's earnings like drop now that they done this deal with Peacock and NBC Universal, and the WWE Network isn't a thing anymore. So they're not getting like, they're not getting millions of dollars coming in from the WWE Network. So we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, given they did get probably, I think it came out a little close to $1 billion from NBC to acquire the WWE Network. I mean, that's still going to put them, way above what they made for 2020, but already in 2021. But we'll just have to wait and see. Everything's going to change. This is always kind of interesting to see. And every time they release like a thing every quarter, or this one is a quarter and a yearly thing, I'll mention it to you guys. I know it's not the most entertaining thing in the world to listen about, but I try to summarize it the best I can. And basically, WWE, they made 1% more money this past year than they did the year before, which is kind of mind-blowing to even think. Okay, that's enough of the corporate BS. Goodbye, Ty. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's actually the only confirmed news stories that I talked to you guys about today. And now things are about to get juicy. I have to warn you guys. So I would suggest, you guys go ahead and get your juice boxes out. Get your juice boxes ready, because ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to talk about some juicy rumors. All right, the first rumor. Now this one also has to do with the whole corporate thing, but we're not going to get back into the tie and all that crap. So basically, there's a rumor that WWE might be making some major cuts because, like, as good as overall the whole year of 2020 was for WWE, I mean, it wasn't like a crazy giant year where they made like a whole like barrels of money or anything like that. But they did do quite well considering. But the quarter four, the last 3 months of 2020, they did do quite poorly. It was down 26% for the previous quarter or whatever like that. So there is a rumor that WWE may be kind of freaking out over this, and they might be releasing some wrestlers. They might be firing some more people inside the WWE, which is never a good thing. But basically, there's a rumor going around right now that it might be firing a few wrestlers who are not really doing anything, which I guess is going to be a lead-in for our next rumor. Our next rumor. Now, I am in no way saying these guys should get fired because these guys have a lot of potential. But these two guys I'm going to be talking about are going to be actually Murphy, and his name we haven't actually mentioned in a very long time on the channel. His name is Mr. Bo Dallas. So apparently Bo Dallas and Murphy are two names that haven't really been on TV too much. I mean, Murphy's been on TV more than Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas has not been on TV in like forever. But basically, they're backstage at the shows like every single week, and they're just waiting for something to do. They're waiting to be handed a script and told what to do, told to do something on TV. Even if it's just something crazy like chasing after R-Truth or something like that. But they weren't even allowed to do that, so Bo Dallas and Murphy were just backstage kind of waiting on something to do. I mean, if they're looking at people, to release, they're going to look at people that they're not doing anything with. And unfortunately, those are a few names, but I think Bo Dallas and Murphy would both agree they would rather be on like another television TV than actually just sitting backstage doing nothing with their lives. So, so hopefully they'll put them on TV, but there's a lot of names we could talk about that they might be releasing with these roster cuts if they actually do it. But maybe here pretty soon, they might be releasing a few wrestlers. Obviously, recently in the news in the past few weeks or whatever, Lars Sullivan was released by the WWE. So maybe that was part and just a start of the budget cuts. I don't know right now, but we know that was one name released recently. Okay, the next rumor is about WrestleMania 37. So this one is about the main event of WrestleMania 37. Now it's not really confirmed yet, but it is a rumor that we are having Roman Reigns versus Edge. That is the match they've decided upon for Edge to have, is Roman Reigns versus Edge. Apparently, the thing I have for you guys about this is there is no winner right now. They do not know who's winning the match right now. They're just planning the matches. They don't know who's winning the matches yet. So we have Roman Reigns and Edge. I mean, I really think Edge should win thing, but at the same time, Roman's really in a hot streak of being a badass heel right now. So I don't know if Edge and I don't know. That's a very tough one. Maybe Roman wasn't the proper opponent if we want Edge to have that like wonderful storybook like ending. I don't want to say ending, but storybook like kind of a moment at WrestleMania. I don't know if he's the right opponent, but apparently this is decided. It is going to be Roman Reigns and Edge at WrestleMania 37. But recently WWE, they did announce more than one WrestleMania. We know WrestleMania 37 is going to be in Tampa, Florida. It's going to be in the Raymond James Stadium, and fans will be allowed of some sort. They're kind of watching the Super Bowl, which is actually tonight when I'm filming this. They're actually watching the Super Bowl to see how they do with like their fan like spacing and things like that, to kind of get ideas of how to sell WrestleMania tickets. The WrestleMania tickets should be on sale here in a few weeks. But they didn't just announce that one Mania. They also announced WrestleMania 38. WrestleMania number 38 is going to be in the AT&T Stadium once again in Dallas, Texas. That's where they have like the world record for the most in attendance for WrestleMania ever. They've also announced WrestleMania 39 location is going to be in Hollywood, California, that brand new SoFi Stadium they just built. It's kind of iffy if that's happening. The pandemic's kind of just like, we have to wait and see on that. But as for those two Manias, plans for Roman Reigns are kind of being decided already. So apparently Brock Lesnar is going to be returning. Brock Lesnar is going to be returning and feuding with Roman Reigns at one of those WrestleManias. We don't know if Brock Lesnar is going to be returning this year, but apparently through Paul Heyman, they're kind of trying to set up something with Lesnar and trying to get him to return for a future Mania and feud with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, there's also a rumor, he has a cousin, maybe you've heard of him. His name is The Rock. Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Roman Reigns, that's another feud that's been discussed. Now, we don't really know which Mania either one of these is happening, but maybe that's the plan for Roman Reigns for the next, 3 years. Like this year, you're going to wrestle Edge. Next year, either Lesnar or Rock, or the next year, either Lesnar or Rock. I mean, it'll just be one per Mania. So, I don't really know. If I had to guess, I think Lesnar versus Reigns would make more sense for WrestleMania 38, and then 39 would make more sense to have, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Mr. Hollywood, actually be at the Mania in Hollywood wrestling. I think that would probably make more sense. So maybe that's a plan, I don't know, but for the next 3 years, it looks like that's the plan for Roman Reigns. So I just spoiled 3 years of plans for Roman Reigns for you guys, so you're welcome. So there you guys have it. That's going to do it for this episode of WWE News and Rumors. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Right now on screen, I'm going to leave a link to 2 previous videos for you guys to check out, as well as a button to subscribe to this channel if you're brand new here. But thank you guys for watching this video. I am Brandon Hodge, and I will see you guys in the next video.